Welcome back to Huckleberry Bastion. Now I know we've been in hibernation for a while, but the summer's here, I guess. And today I think I'm going to take a look at the Schrade Tactical Survival Pin. There are a number of these type of pins out there. They're kind of like the tactical survival type pins. And I settled on this one because it kind of had the features that were more in line with the type of stuff I do here on Huckleberry Bastion. It's kind of a trendy thing, but I'll just give you my opinion on it. So I've had it for well over a year, and it's been part of my EDC, so I've used it pretty much every day, primarily as its main function, which is as a pin. And for that, it's perfectly adequate, no problems. And once the ink runs out, you can refill the cartridge. You can get a new pen and just put it in there, so you're good to go. So I mean, it is something that could last you a really long time, as long as you have the refills. Now, the body of the pen is solid aluminum. Well, of course aluminum is solid, it's metal, but it makes it very, very rugged and tough. And it's got this kind of a black coating on it, which is pretty typical of things that are tactical. You gotta have the black anodized finish on it. Now, I've used it for over a year, and you can see that some areas of it up here at the end where the cap is in the clip, just from rubbing against my pants and maybe rubbing up against a Leatherman or a knife I have in my pocket, it's starting to wear off there and on the clip. But everywhere else, it's held it fairly well, unless it's been really hit with some force or up against something hard. Now the pin, other than just being a pin, has other features that make it part of the survival or tactical utility that you can carry around. And those are a whistle for signaling, glass breaker that you can use if you're trapped in a car or something like that. And it also has a ferro rod, so you can get a fire started. And with the ferro rod, there's also at this end a striker that you can use with the ferro rod. Get your sparks, get your fire started. And another feature of the pin, because it is metal and pointy, is that you could use it as a tool for self-defense should you need to. And I'm just going to show you each of those features a little closer up and see what I think. There are threads so that you can attach the cap at both ends, of course, to cover the pin when not in use. And when you want to put it on the back, you can see that the coating has worn off here a bit, and on the clip, not such a big deal, but it is something to note. The other thing is that the clip has these two screws, and I find that they are loosening up a little more often than I would like, and I have to go in and tighten those up occasionally. So at one end of the pin we have this, which is the glass breaker, and all it is just a little bit of a pointed area. Now, I'm fairly confident that you're going to be able to bust a window if you had to with that. The next feature we're going to check out is the whistle. Now we're going to try this whistle out in 3 different ways. One, I'm going to try it on the pin as you see it here. The next, we're going to remove the cap and try it. And then I am going to show you how I do it using my thumb. Let's try it just with the cap on top of the pin. It's pretty high pitch, pretty piercing. And let's try it with the cap off. Okay, now let's try it by putting a finger or a thumb in. To remove the striker, you have to turn clockwise because of the threading. Just flip it over, then counterclockwise to tighten it in. It's once you have your striker in place to get access to the fire steel ferro rod, there's a middle section that just unscrews counterclockwise, and you can see that that's in there. Then you can just use it like that. Now comes one of my biggest gripes with this pin, and I don't know if it's just mine or if other people have experienced this, but without ever being used, the fire steel just popped right out. One day I felt it, I could hear it moving around in there, and it had just fallen out. And I actually tried to super glue this back into place, but for some reason it didn't stay. And you can remove the whole piece like that. So yeah, that is room for improvement. This thing does not want to stay in there, and if it won't stay in there, that's really going to make it more difficult to use. This will be my actual first attempt at using the fire steel, see if it works with the striker. Now I can see that the striker is a bit loose, so that's not good. And as I mentioned, the fire steel does come out sometimes. So I tried to tighten it in there as best I can. Let's see what kind of results we get. I just got to get the coating off the fire steel for a bit. There we go. Well, we did get some good sparks off at that time, but as you can see, it came loose, and for some reason the striker is loose now. And it appears that this has come loose. Looks like there was some kind of adhesive or something, but it is threaded, and you can just tighten it back in there. So let's do that. And that seems to have tightened it up a bit. So that's something to keep an eye on. So what about using this type of pin for self-defense? Well, it's metal, it's pointy, even more so at this end. So absolutely you could use it for self-defense if you had to. I mean, if you had no other option and you had this in hand, sure, go ahead, use it for self-defense. I've seen videos where they're getting very technical, and you can use it as a pressure point. Somebody's grabbing you, then you can drive it into their armpit or whatever, and that may all be fine, but my philosophy is always to keep things simple and effective, be super aggressive, kind of vicious. If you have to use this, if you're in a situation where you have to use this to defend your life, and you've already made that decision that you're going to attack somebody, like, just go at them from the neck up. Just go at them. I'm sure more creative people could find different ways to use this. You could disassemble it, use it as a straw, or something that I found that I've been doing is, because it is metal, if I have to wedge something open like a window or a drawer, I've been doing that. So to wrap things up, works as a pin, it's refillable, it's sturdy. I mean, the main pin body will probably last you for a very, very long time. Does have a little bit of a problem with these screws coming loose on the clip. It's going to wear, but all things wear. The big problem is with the ferro rod and the striker. And my biggest issue of all, I would have to say, is the price. Now, here in Canada, it's like $50 plus tax, I think, on Amazon. And you can probably find it cheaper somewhere else, but I haven't noticed anywhere. And for me, it's just too much. At that price point, you shouldn't have those problems. You should have that, nailed down. So, if it was $20, $25 cheaper or so, I would totally recommend it. If you're really into this stuff and you have money to burn, go for it. But that's that. Anyway, thanks for watching today. I'm going to try to get some more videos out. I know it's been a while since we did that, but mostly I do a lot of videos in summer and fall. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.